Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good morning and good top. I guess it's officially afternoon because it's noon, but
It's noon. Thank you. It's new.
That's your
It's new
patina
time.
house. Is that right?
Patina. Yes, patina. Thank you. It feels autumnal, which I guess we're doing now. Because we're knitting, damn it. And we don't care that it's 80 degrees here in Chicago. It's time to knit, regardless of what else is happening. And knitting we have been doing. Laura, I thought we could start off at the top of the program.
Yeah.
To give everybody a little update on Sleevetember.
That's right. It is Sleevetember, the sleeviest time of year. Your favorite time of year.
My favorite time of year. September is the best month. This is the best month of the year, I believe. If not because we're all knitting like crazy people, because it is Sleevetember. So I thought, I was looking at the numbers today. They're not super different than the update that I gave everyone in the party on Monday, but I thought, maybe it'll light a little fire under some booties,
Different enough. I want to know. I'm nosy.
Yeah, you gotta know. So the update is that we have had 67 FOs projects accomplished, sleeves knit, which is huge.
Even if that's relatively the same, that is impressive. It is only the 12. That is amazing.
It is only the 12. Yeah. So sleeves are getting knit. That is good for nearly 20% of the goals that we've all decided on for the month. So, yes, 67 is a lot,
yes.
But
however,
we have a high mountain to climb.
Well, not to put you on the spot, but you are chief data analyst of Sleevetember, self-appointed. And so how does that compare to where we finished at Sleevetember last year? Do you remember our percentage from last year?
I remember last year at the end of Sleevetember, we finished at like 72%. We've been consistent at 72% for the last 2 years when the data was really being collected and counted in a super official way. And this year, by God, I want to get over the 72% hump. But yeah,
so that's where this tough love is coming from. People need to not rest on their sleeve laurels. You want them to still get out there and do the damn thing.
Yeah, I just feel like it might be time to start calling in sick to work. Sending the kids outside for long periods of time. It is still very beautiful out. They can just, run around. You don't have to pay attention to them. It's fine. There's nothing to be scared of out there. Yeah.
Sure. That's right. As two non-parents, that sounds exactly right to me.
Yeah, absolutely. No notes. Yeah, no notes. So we can do this. Yeah, tough love. Yes, Patty, exactly right. We can provide doctor's notes if necessary. I will knit them for you. That's normal. I'm sure that no questions will be asked about that. So look in your direct messages if you would like a doctor's note from LauraAllyson.party.
DRDM, we're offering those now.
So I did knit 2 sleeves.
Yes, welcome back for the purposes of the live. Welcome back from your travels. You had some travel project goals. How did they go?
Well, they went fine. I thought I could knit 3 sleeves. I knit 2 sleeves. But I did. Here are my sleeves. Here are my sleeves for my feet.
Look at that awesome pooling on the one on your left, unless we're mirroring in camera world.
This is my right.
Okay, good. Your left. Perfect.
My left.
Cool. Your left. That feeling is so cool.
Isn't it? Yeah. So both of these socks are knit in hedgehog fibers sock yarn, which I really like. This is a really nice sock yarn, very beautiful. I'm just assuming that this colorway name does not exist anymore because I got this in the D stash from the lovely Agnes. Shout out to Agnes. But the name of the colorway was kimono. I don't think we're doing that anymore because it is cultural appropriation. But whatever it is, it's great. I hope the color still exists and they just changed the name of it.
Yes, because that is truly stunning. It doesn't need baggage with it, but no wonder. Like but this is exactly what we're talking about, a preview for our upcoming Socktober. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but like that is what's so fun about like socks as a travel project. If you pick really interesting yarn, because you don't have to focus too much on what you're doing, and then the yarn just becomes. It's a lot of like putting it on your knee and like looking at it. It's so fun.
Taking festive pictures of it. In front of cliffs or next to a beer or a fancy coffee. That's what we want to see. That's what we're doing. So yeah, I love that. That's a hot tip. So I have a completed sock pair. This was Party Olympics.
Yes.
This was Sleevetember. I would not have knit these without these knit-alongs. So now I have a pair of socks.
It's so good, and that colorway reminds me of like pink lemonade. It's so cute. It's so good.
Isn't it nice? Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't it nice? Yeah. So that's what I accomplished on vacation. Though, Laura, I think we need to interrupt this scheduled programming because the girls are flipping out about how amazing you look because of your lip gloss.
Well, it's doing heavy work today.
What is happening?
Well, I am a big fan. This is quasi-cultural moment. Sorry, everyone. We're out of sequins.
We gotta sneak it. We gotta sneak peek it.
But I love this makeup artist and makeup historian, Erin Parsons. She has a great YouTube channel. She did a whole series on like the lead paint, the lead face paint that Queen Elizabeth wore and what it actually looked like versus like the weird Hollywood obsession with painting everybody ghost.
Of painting her face white, yes,
which isn't what it looked like. But she's like, she's not a maker to my understanding, but I just feel like she's one of us. She gets interested in the things that we find interesting, and she has this lip combo that I'm obsessed with, and I bought exactly what she told me to. She's also the in-house makeup artist for L'Oreal, I believe. So this is, I will have to scoot away for one moment, and I can tell you exactly. Okay.
Scoot. Yeah. The people want to know, Laura. We have to tell the people. Good thing you have shorts on.
Woo! Yes, it was touch and go. Okay, so the combo is L'Oreal. I'm gonna influence her hand. Yes. It's L'Oreal 800 Fairest Nude, which I will say is a little bit blue for me in real life, but on camera looks great. And then the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in 2 Ice. And then it's a lip liner from NYX as well that I don't know the name of. But this is the combo, and it'll cost you about $12. So get on it, and you can look great on camera.
But weird, look dead. Weird and dead in person.
It's just not my neutral. It's a really pretty like neutral for fair toned people, but it has kind of a blue to it, and I like more, as we know, orange. I prefer an orange.
Like grandma had it. Like grandma did it.
Yep. That I don't really care about undertones. I think people should wear what they want. But for me, I feel my most lively when I've got a little bit of a mauvey, orangey something. But on camera, slaps. So everybody look like Erin Parsons. You get people ask in the comments what the lip combo is. So there you go.
There you go.
So,
there you go. Yeah. The people had to know.
Yes. And check out Erin Parsons. She's my favorite.
Yeah, good thing you're on camera a lot. That's a great point. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, I don't know.
There.
I don't know how widely applicable this is to people, but I'm like, on Zoom, that's going to look fire. So that's what I was willing to do drugstore lips. I'm not going to do the full like Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I can do drugstore 100%.
So yes, I was in Wales last week, and just had a lovely time. Wales is beautiful and chill and inexpensive to bop around.
I always love your web presence, of course, but your photos were unreal. At one point I messaged Allyson and said, like, this is AI, like 100%. Because there's just no
when
way.
We came across that that like group of wild horses that were just hanging out on that cliffside,
it's not real.
Yeah,
pretend. So
yeah,
nice try. I think you just hid in the closet the whole time.
I was just in the closet the whole time, just like making AI videos of me scaring sheep, and finding horses on the cliffside.
Well, it's interesting because we've had this conversation about with our travels together that we live in a world-class city. We live in Chicago, Illinois. And so the more great cities we see, we appreciate them, but we're kind of in the mood for non-city activities. Because after a while, it's like, great, the public transportation's cool, the art is cool, great.
Yeah.
I need a little something. So was that part of your inspiration with traveling this trip? I guess what's a roundabout way of asking, why Wales?
Why Wales? Well, yes, I love getting out of the city. I'm kind of over it. People irritate me more than ever. I'm just like slowly turning into a very crotchety old man. And so sometimes I need a break. And Wales was a great place to go to see zero other humans. A couple of comments that I had on my Instagram was, where are the people?
Yes.
And yeah, the people were not to be found, which was great. But yeah, I chose Wales because Shane was planning on going to London again, because he likes a lot of things that happen in London. Namely, he spent 2 days watching cricket, and he watched Premier League soccer match also with some friends, and so I glommed onto his trip, and then we rented a car and drove around Wales for a week. So that is proximity, and also never been to Wales, was pumped about it. Lauren, though you will appreciate this, we always complain now you cannot get a stamp in your passport.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that. I have a brand spanking new passport that is still as fresh as the day it just was delivered into my house.
Beeping. They're scanning you at the old Heathrow.
They're scanning you. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. So that 2 countries, 0 stamps in my passport. What are you gonna do? But yeah, so that was definitely a motivating factor to get out of London, and see some beautiful countryside. And yeah, it was awesome. Things I knew about Wales before I went were it was beautiful. It has lots of castles, and they have more sheep than humans, and all of those things I really appreciate. Not very many humans, lots of sheep, and castles. I really like castles. So that's and all of those things were true. I knew too that we were going to be near a lot of national parks, and so that there was like hiking and stuff. But Shane and I didn't specifically pack like hiking gear, but you know, Wales really wants you to go to Wales, so they had a lot of really nice websites telling you what like easy paths were, like easy hikes, so you're not like going straight up the mountain. So we took easy hike. Like I was like, oh, this one says it's easy, or this one says it's moderate. We're both in relatively good shape. That was kind to Shane. I am in great shape. He is in relatively good shape. But everyone we saw, like, we did not have hiking boots. Allbirds were the only shoes that I brought on this trip. Shane had Chuck Taylors. And every other person on these hikes was dressed like they were climbing Mount Everest. We just like American bumbled our way up some mountains and hiked around some things, just like wearing my bright yellow cloud raincoat when everyone else was in like head to toe. Aria, like they just walked out of Aria. Yes. It was so funny. But I just loved every second of it. I like at one point climbed half a mountain holding a coffee. And everyone else has like walking poles.
Right.
It was great. It was very my energy. It took like lots of really nice pictures of a bunch of really beautiful cliff sides. It was really beautiful and lovely.
Oh, so
and
glad.
cheap. I think it was like we say this, it's the cost that it should be, like, like
what we remember from childhood.
yes, when you could like go out to eat and give someone $48 and you're like, oh yeah, this was $48 worth of food and drinks. Like this was amazing. This was really nice. This wasn't like $200 worth of food and drinks, so that was really nice too. We spent a couple of days in Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales.
Yes.
And the first night we were there, it was a brewery that was relatively close to where we were staying. It was kind of rainy, but it looked cool. It was like kind of indoor, outdoor space. I was like, okay, let's go check this place out. And so we went, and they had great beer that they made there. They had like a brewery, but it was kind of like in 3 dilapidated buildings where you could and people had like food stands, but it was pretty rainy, so people were kind of huddled in and out, and there were a couple like garages that they had built out, and there was a man playing this old piano in this garage.
Charming.
And it was so nice. So we sat in there, and he was amazing. And the piano obviously had been outside for a long time, so it was kind of like the keys were sticking and stuff. But people were singing, and they were singing like Welsh folk songs. But then he was taking requests and doing like guessing games, and it was just like a lovely time. And they when it got really, really dark, they had candelabras that they lit all over the place. It was
very quaint. Jeez.
It was just the sweetest. And then the owner comes over to us. There were not a lot of people around because it was, cold and rainy. But the owner came around to us, and we were like, this is so great. Like, this is such a cool space. We're visiting from Chicago. And he starts to drop little nuggets where I start to think, oh, this guy is like somebody. He's like, oh, yeah, I made this, once I stopped selling my pottery, I created the space, and, big Welsh guy. Shane kept calling him Tom Babadook. He had like a big, like, he was like the mayor of the town
right.
And he's like the most famous potter in the UK, and told us all about how he was selling his pottery to the MoMA. And he helped.
It wasn't Gwen blah blah Jones from the pottery throwdown, right? Because he's Welsh too. There's a second famous potter. All right, fine. Yes. You recognize him, right? The crying
absolutely.
Guy. Okay.
No, yes, absolutely. No, this man's name was Keith Munro.
The other guy's name is Keith. Anyway, there's a lot of
it must be a Welsh thing. Everyone's name's Keith. But he was just talking about how he used to travel to New York all the time and selling the MoMA, his
Wow.
pottery. And we were just like laughing and having a good time. And then he drew us a picture of this cliff walk that we had to do over a peninsula. And Shane had just enough beers to be like, we are doing that cliff walk. And I was like, okay, I would love to do a cliff walk. So we had the map that Keith like drew us. Again, he's a potter, not a artist,
right?
Not an artiste.
But I'd hang on to that map. It'd be worth something.
Right? And so we followed the map to the Gower Peninsula and did this cliff walk. And that was where the horses were on the cliff. And it was just lovely. It was very perfect. Yeah, it was so nice. And there were so few people around on this cliff walk that I fully just had to pee. And so I just peed on the cliff. And because you got to do what you got to do. But, you know, I didn't want someone accidentally stumbling on me. So I was trying to pee really quickly and I peed on a nettle bush.
Right.
And the nettles stung my ankle and like the upper part of my thigh. And like I pulled my pants back up and I was like, oh no, what just happened? And I was waiting for it to spread to my lady bits. They didn't, thank God. So I just like covered enough.
That's why you don't. Let that be a lesson to all of us.
Yeah. Well, look where you squat down. Nettles are serious. Nettles are serious. But that's how empty this cliff walk was. It was, you could just pee anywhere. It was amazing.
Well, I think that was like awe-inspiring, terrifying, back to awe-inspiring. So I think overall, Wales owes you a debt of gratitude for influencing. I think a lot of party people are adding it to their
I love it. Yeah. A++. Yeah. Really, really nice. That was great.
That's so good. Well, and you did some yarn shopping, right?
I did, for you. Yes, I did. I kept running into obstacles because the yarn business must be suffering. You can't find an open yarn store to save your goddamn life in any country whatsoever. I went to multiple yarn stores. All were closed, save one.
I think it's just the theme of your international travel this year. It's just inaccessible yarn shops. It's just they're not opening the doors, which is foolhardy. But thank God this one did, because look at these beautiful fingering weight BFL skeins. It's so beautiful. River Knits, and let's see if they've got. They do. This one is roast. The colorway is roast, and this one is Otto Schlussel. So roast and Otto Schlussel, everyone.
Normal.
Yeah, why not? Printed on recycled paper. I think these colors are perfect. They are perfect. And this one really goes with your patina blouse.
Imagine that. I do only buy like 3 colors.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. So they had the one yarn store that I went to was in a little town called Conwy, maybe. They had a beautiful castle. And went in there. The yarn store was open. They had a whole wall of Welsh and UK yarn, organized by weight. It was very smart because obviously anybody who's going anywhere is going to want to buy things from the place that they're visiting. So it was super nice. It was called You So
Felty, but not as good as You So Sporty from You.
No,
of course. Everybody loves that one.
Yes. Yeah, it was You So Felty or something. The name was so dumb I almost didn't walk 3 minutes to see if the store was open. But I did. And it was very nice. I was well rewarded. Yeah, I was well rewarded. Highly recommend Wales. The one thing we were going to do, but we didn't do, was we were going to swing by Wrexham and just say hi to all of our friends who live there. But our rental car took 2.5 extra hours to rent. So we didn't get to swing by old Wrexham. But that was the only thing that we didn't end up doing on the list, which is okay.
How was Shane's driving? He won't see this.
He won't see this. Shane's driving was good. His stress level about driving was pretty bad. The thing about Shane, unfortunately, I think this is a really bad personality trait when you have a problem with every option. For instance, I know he doesn't like driving. He doesn't do it very often. And he gets very stressed about driving. So I planned a whole train trip around Wales where we wouldn't need to rent a car. And Shane said, no, I want to go to this island and be by the seaside. And I said, well, if you want to go to this island, Anglesey, in northern Wales, then we need to rent a car because there are no trains that will take us there. He said, okay, great. And then he bitched about driving. And I was like, you fucking did this to yourself. I'm not taking responsibility for this. I found a solution for you. You did that. Yes, Erin, exactly. So fucking typical. So fucking typical. So anytime he started getting fussy, I was just like, we're here because of you. Yes, we are. But he's really good at driving. He just doesn't like, obviously, nobody likes to drive a car that's this big down a road. 2 lanes,
but 1 car wide.
But
that's awful.
And you're always, going to the left instead of going to the right.
And roundabouts, you were saying.
Yes, they love a good roundabout in Wales. And I'm navigating. I'm an excellent navigator, but when the picture of what's happening is telling me you have to go 2 traffic circles to take a right, and I don't know what lane you need to get into to go through the first traffic circle to successfully go through the second traffic circle, because that's insane. No one's going to succeed in that.
Well, you live to tell the tale, and your marriage survived, so I love it. I love it, both of you.
We did. Always he only really had one absolute insane meltdown. And I just invited him to take that meltdown by himself. And he did. And then I came over and said, you owe me an apology. And he said, I'm very sorry. And I said, okay, let's go. So I'd say that's pretty successful, really.
Yeah, for a week long trip. Pretty good. Pretty good. The odds are that's a majority good time, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't have to talk about my vacation anymore. Had a great time. Wales is great. Thumbs up. Highly recommend. If anyone wants more specific recommendations, we stayed at a lot of really lovely places, and did a lot of beautiful cliff walks and mountain hikes, and you can do all of it in Allbirds.
And it sounds like a lot of stuff that's easier to type your recommendations, because Welsh is pretty tough to pronounce. Pretty tough. Ask King Charles.
Oh my God. Reading the signs on their highways are 7 times bigger than any highway sign I've ever seen, because they put like 7 L's in every word.
Mm-hmm. That is the one thing I remember from linguistics class, which I got an A in. But that in Welsh, that double L sound makes a sound. It's supposed to be like, so the name Lloyd, you're supposed to say Lloyd, which is a no for me.
Lloyd. No, that's
Lloyd.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough. Welsh, I have no idea what is happening.
No, but good for them. Keep it going forever.
Yeah.
But It's definitely not in my wheelhouse in terms of anything I've ever heard before. So it's really something. It's
No.
probably up there with like Icelandic, where I'm just like, sure, like, yeah, I'm not really
Yeah.
gonna get the signage, but we'll get there. Like, if I know gull now is gold, you know, good enough.
That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, Welsh is amazing. Fuck the English. You keep doing your thing.
Forever.
But holy shit, what a language. And everybody speaks it all the time. And then,
Which is
then
great.
they're like, oh,
That
here's
is-
some English that I also speak perfectly.
Yeah, that's excellent. And good for all of those Welsh
Keep it up.
nationals that are keeping it alive. But
Yeah.
damn, that's toughy.
Yeah, that's a toughie. Did not even figure out how to say hello to people, honestly. And that's usually one of the things that I do. I couldn't even do it. My Midwestness couldn't handle it. But I did feel very Midwestern. I love that the Midwest is having a moment with our buddy Tim Waltz.
Oh, good. They'd
Laura,
heard of us.
yeah, we're Midwesterning really hard. I kept doing very Midwestern things, and it felt like I was a meme. Like when we found people on the mountain, it would be like, oh, good morning. Oh, it's just over there. You're gonna it's so beautiful. It's just a little bit farther. And I was just like, oh yeah, that's super fucking Midwestern. Just to like greet everyone happily. Yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, this is the best. Yeah, absolutely. Constantly. So yeah, hopefully we can keep this going.
For sure.
Because it's great.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Much deserved. Although you were getting tons of work done abroad as well. So
Had to. Sleevetember.
Yeah, probably doesn't even feel like time off, but I'm glad you got your through 2 of your socks. That's huge. Sounds like there was some time in the car to work through that, which is always good. And thank you again for my beautiful yarn. No plans as of yet, but I have a couple of beautiful travel yarn skeins now, and you all know how I feel about stranded colorwork mittens. So I think I have some stranded colorwork mittens in my near future. Love, love, love.
Nice. Love it. I have, since I've been back, it has been nice to actually knit the sleeves that I have to knit.
How's it going? Let's move into Sleevetember. Let's do it. You're framed. Oh my God. Okay, so is that a framed sleeve? That's been since you've been back?
Since yesterday.
Holy shit. That is very impressive and very fast. Much faster than my other sleeves will come together. Damn.
Yeah.
That looks beautiful.
So big. It's
beautiful.
It's such big yarn. I made a weird choice. Okay, so I got this beautiful yarn. I got the beautiful yellow yarn from the lovely Kathy Zwatsky. Gave me this beautiful yarn. I knew eventually I would run out. And so I have run out. And you can kind of see here that I have faded it to a different yellow. And so I will match
would
that.
Not have noticed
exactly.
had you not pointed it out. So I think it looks very artful.
It's very subtle. It's very artful. Thank you. It's very artful. So that's happening. I think that that's going to be great. I felt like the yellow yarn that I faded in was slightly too thin. So I doubled it, and it's slightly too thick. Doubled.
Well,
so I got to the elbow, and I have decided to stop using it, holding it double, and start holding it singly. Oh, hoping that it will.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. It'll feel like having patches or something on your elbow.
Well, this is the coldest part of my body, are my upper arms. So that'll be the thickest part. It's like I have a reverse vest. Yes,
very nice.
Exactly. Nice. So I just did that. So yeah, I'm excited. We just had our sleeve talk for my frame to knit along last night. So I got to, talk more about how to get this accomplished. So I'm hoping to have these sleeves knocked out by the end of the weekend. I want to be done. That's a goal.
Wow.
That's a goal. I also, I miscalculated. And I also started working on.
It looks like a body. The last time we saw this was a beautiful yoke, but I'm seeing some bod now. There's a sleeve.
The tiniest sleeve. The tiniest sleeve.
Beautiful pit, which we tell people to never show. So you're being very vulnerable.
I'm very good at pits because I don't care. That's the key. So I got this. When I left, this was still a yoke. I pulled the body off. I made a little bit of body just so I could get off the armpit a little bit so I could start my sleeve. This body is going to sit there now, and I'm going to knit both the sleeves. So those are 4 of my remaining sleeve goals for Sleevetember.
Flying.
I feel good.
Just a member. She's a president. She's also a member. That's whatever that hair convention was. So good.
Yeah, it's real. So that is what I have been doing. That is what I am focused on accomplishing. Laura, how about you? How are your Sleevetember goals going?
Good. Well, you were abroad. I was in your home watching your animals. And so I had a very knit forward weekend where I accomplished my goal of finishing my veau vest. I knit the front of this thing in a week, which is fast.
So fast.
Yeah. So this is my souvenir from Iceland as well. I brought this beautiful galaxy yarn back from Iceland. It's really great to have like a little memento. My first memento from Iceland, because I brought back a ton of shit and I will continue to knit through that. But, the vision was to wear this for the live today with this little striped tee. How cute would that be?
I see it. So cute. No,
I just can't do it. Too damn hot. Yeah. So you get the pleasure of admiring it. And yes, the Orla vest, I've said veau and I did not mean that. It's the Orla vest from Kelborn Woolens, I love the veau vest, but that is a colorwork vest and not what I'm featuring here. So,
different thing. Yeah.
And then I picked up the sleeve for my first sleeve for my porcelain sweater, which was no accident. We definitely wanted to promote our class that's coming up because we're teaching this again. And I dramatically finished this live Tuesday night during knit night. I love it so much. Our sleeve plan went great. I had a whole idea of what I wanted and it works great. So exact right length. It's so cute, and I definitely still need one more. But we were able to do the joke again. Thought of doing the hilarious joke of being like, "Look at my completed sweater today," and I can't do it. So joke ruined, but sleeve lives on forever. This is so good.
So good. And sell this class you did, Laura, because we have officially one spot left in the live porcelain, but actually we have 2 because one of the live people, Nisha, emailed me. She's moving from live to recordings only. She was so panicked about missing out on a spot that she just blindly signed up for it. And that's the kind of energy that will always be rewarded around here. Panic signing up for things, thinking about it more later. So we're going to move Nisha to recordings only, which means we have 2 spots left. Okay. Yeah.
So jump on in.
Yeah.
So then I also managed to pick up my sleeve for my Louise. So that's very exciting. I've got my Louise sleeve going, and it's a lot of bobbles. It's a great deal of bobbles, which are fun, but it's bobble forward. So I have this whole body that I've steeked open, working away on my sleeve. And that was all over the course of a weekend. And so I'm taking a little knitting break I'm still on track to accomplish my goals. My goals are to finish both sleeves for both my Louise and porcelain. Those are my officially submitted goals. And I had 5 total, and this was sleeve 5, was finishing my body sleeve, which is what we call vests. And so I'm on track. And my goal, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between I'll finish a sleeve of the Louise, sleeve of the porcelain, sleeve of the Louise, sleeve of the porcelain. But I want to make sure, I was definitely starting to feel it in here.
Oh yeah, you gotta take care of yourself.
Yes.
It's important.
So I needed to take a little bit of a break. So I have been sewing for the last 24 hours. And pretty soon I will need a sewing break and then back on track for Sleevetember. So it's, yeah, that is what I've been up to. Knitting away and then these last 24 hours sewing away. So that is what
can we see your pumpkin face?
Sure. It's there. I prefer it to stay back. Can you see? It's done. It's done. Yeah, it's back here. I'll get it. But don't be scared.
Pumpkin face. Okay.
Pump Queen with a little gingham background. The Pump Queen from Miha Handmade, and it is hilarious, but I did a pretty good job. I did a pretty good job, all things considered. I would like to make this black again, but I think this is a circle because you cut a circle template out, and I would love to cut an oval out and like applique it on something and make it like more pumpkin-y. I think that'd be really cute. So
yes, that would be cute.
Yeah.
Curves in quilting is hard.
Yeah. And you literally, I mean, it's very smart the way she's done it. It's very low waist, which I appreciate. You cut this circle out of the middle here, and then you use the circle fabric to make the eyes and the teeth. Like that's good. You don't have a lot of waste. But yeah, you don't really need to do all that, in my opinion. Although I'm getting good at sewing circles because of the bucket bag. But yeah, she's a little wonky, and I was excited because this fabric was for our very first year at Camp Workroom Social. We got it in like a sample pack, and it's so weird. It has tiny ghosts on it and disembodied dresses.
Yeah,
and like rabbits. Creepy. And it's such weird fabric. And I remember at the time being like, who would ever want to use that fabric for anything? And I found a thing. So that also found.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Pump Queen. So silly. And I need a new door decoration. So she's my back door decoration. She's not my finest work. But that was really fun. It's spooky season.
Yeah, spooky season. Fall. Mm-hmm. I'm dressed as a pumpkin.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And so we have a very busy October coming up in a very good way. But one of the things that we're doing, our friends sewing weekend, where we just go to, it really is the core idea of our retreats, was this weekend that we do with just our buddies. And we are going with our friends to a house and just knocking out some sewing projects. So I figured, while I have these couple of days where I'm going to be doing tons of knitting and need to kind of bounce back and forth, I'm pre-cutting a couple projects for that weekend and pre-packing them up. So I am trying to be a little more organized, because usually I'm not for that weekend. So that's what I've been up to.
Nice. Love it. All right. Should we talk biz?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Laura, big news on over in my world.
Yes.
I launched 5 new classes today, and people are pumped about it because fall is right around the corner, and you just want to be knitting. That's what's going on. So I launched 2 design your own sweater classes, design your own yoke sweater and design your own raglan sweater. Those are just so fun. So people are pumped with that. I'm doing Paul Klee again.
Oh, good.
And I can't wait.
Basically what you wore on all of your pictures in Wales. Yeah. And it looked perfect in that
sweater I brought. It's a Harvest Dream. It's right here because
perfect.
People keep asking about it. This is my Paul Klee sweater. It is perfect. It is perfect. So I'm excited to do that one again. And I'm teaching 2 classes of Paul Klee right now, and they're just finishing with their yoke knitting. So I'm excited to take some pictures of the yokes that people are putting together in the class and share them with people. I think that's going to get people very pumped about me doing Paul Klee. I'm super excited about that. By popular demand, people wanted me to teach Atlantica, an old pom-pom sweater. I can't
little
even
blast
tell
from
you.
the past class wise.
Total blast from the past. I dug out all my class materials. They were from 2021, which was a lifetime ago. I don't even use any of those formats anymore. So I was doing transferring everything over, and a lot of times I give people a hard time, Laura, because they tell me they want things and then nobody does it, but they're signing up for Atlantica. So they told me they wanted it and they actually do want it. And that's why I ask people what they want so they can tell me. I would have never run Atlantica again. But here we are. You got to give the people what they want.
Well, that was me and Friday Tea, and then there was Erin Masterson knitting hers in the south of France. So I'm like, okay.
I know. See, they want it. Yeah,
they think they do. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. Well, a lot of people have really beautiful this much of that Friday Tea.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. But not Erin, because she went to France, and so that's the key apparently.
You got to travel.
We'll do a Friday Tea retreat to Nice.
Yes.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah, where there's no educational purposes. You just have to not be.
We'll just lock you in your room and then let you out for meals. So.
Yeah, so you can focus.
The Gilded Cage retreat coming soon. Yes.
People would sign up for that. I think that's a slam dunk.
They would.
Yeah. Speaking of retreats, last chance to join us for Knitting and Natural Dyeing Retreat. That's the first weekend in October. We are closing registration tomorrow. So if you want to get away that first weekend in October, it's going to be beautiful in Southwest Michigan. The leaves are going to be changing. It's going to be just heavenly, autumnal vacation. Please join us. We have a couple of spots left. We would love to have you there.
And just to say, if the dyeing element is what has kept you, DYE, kept you from registering, it's knitting and natural dyeing. So you can also just use it as a literal retreat, as a weekend away. And it is, the DYEing is very important. It's an important E. When you tell people you're going to go dyeing in the woods, people are like, I missed an Instagram post or something, but DYE, if the dyeing doesn't hold a lot of interest for you, there is still the classic Laura and Allyson programming of us being there for one-on-ones. We'll do breakout sessions based on interest, and it can just be a little respite away. And especially in the lead up to November, it is a very nice time to get out of Dodge and just have some quiet time. So just to say, and don't listen to this next part, even though it's true, you will end up being very fascinated with the dyeing process and have a great time. You sit there and you think, I don't care about this, and you know why I know you think that? Because I thought that. And now I'm a dyeing fool. I love DYE and fool. And I adore it. Sarah is such a good instructor and makes it so much fun, and you should come. So
we're doing a new thing, right, Laura? Some batik, is that what it's called?
Yes, we experimented with batik, which is a resistance dyeing where you paint wax. And we paint with wax and then dye, and then you boil the fabric and the wax goes away, and you have it's like a tie-dye technique but with wax. And it was very fun to play around with at Indigo Studio, and so we're bringing it to natural dyeing, and we're gonna have fun painting around with wax.
I can't wait to try that. I want to do secret messages.
Cool. Yeah, and then all will be revealed in the pod. So I had a feeling, I just knew, because Sarah said she was holding 2 weekends, and all of a sudden she's like, maybe, and I was like, I knew it. So great. I mean, maybe, whatever, Sarah, it's no big deal. I'm not overly excited or anything.
We barely have a spot left.
But yes, batik, Kara is correct. Batik was popular in the 70s. It's also very commonly used in African textiles and traditional African fabric making. So it is very fun to learn about. And I know about, 20% to teach you.
That's
but
all
it's
you need
just
to
about
teach.
vibes. Yeah, it's about experimenting with it, which is the whole point of these retreats. Trying something new without having to buy all the crap. And that is
Yes.
the real thing.
Yes. Speaking of retreats, next week we are launching our winter retreats. That is our Greenline Studio retreat 2025. We are doing knitting. That's our theme, knitting.
Well, listen,
It's the best.
As you see us like wheeling and dealing and trying to sell natural dyeing super hard to you, we keep being reinforced that y'all just want to go knit in the woods. So
Knit in the woods.
we try to, razzle dazzle, and you have told us time and time again with your dollars.
Stop razzle dazzling us and take my money.
We're doing more Allyson classics, and hope you'll join us.
Yeah. And Galentine's. All right. So those are going exclusive to the party on Monday, and they're going to be open widely. What's left is going to be open widely on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for it.
Thrilling. I'm thrilled.
Thrilling. I'm thrilled too. Laura, do you have any biz that you want to share with the people?
Nothing at the moment, but I will have more next week for the people, which is very exciting. And as always, if you are in Chicago and you have time Monday or Tuesday mornings, would love to see you in person at Evans and Stitchworks. You can always message me for more details.
Culture Corner. Laura, what you got for us?
Well, I'm about to talk about, this will be only of interest to me in this conversation, but I'll try to keep it brief because we only have 5 minutes anyway.
And that's what you said 2 weeks ago, and then you talked a long time about baseball. That's what we try not to do.
I know, but I will keep it brief. And these are 2 shows / podcasts that I watch on YouTube. Okay. And I will keep it short. The first is, yes, Erin Parsons makeup. She is amazing. I think she's gorgeous, A, and then B, really dives into the history of makeup, and she's a makeup collector and is opening her own collection up as a museum, hopefully in like 2 years in Southern California. So it's fascinating. She goes on, she knows all these buyers and has owns actual lipstick from famous people, looks at formulations through the years and how they've changed and why. I've learned so much from her. Erin Parsons, 10 out of 10. And then the other show that I've been watching, keeping up with week to week, that is, I find actually extremely moving and hilarious, it is a show called Twinuendo. And it stars drag queen Darby Lynn Cartwright, who is formerly of Chicago, now lives in LA, which is where they always go. And Darby Lynn is
come
not
back. They always come back.
They do.
Yeah.
And Darby is not a Rue girl, but does recaps of RuPaul's Drag Race and used to do them here at bars in Andersonville. But she, as it turns out, has an identical twin brother, which is crazy. And they were both raised evangelical Christian Southern Baptist.
Yes, you told me about this one.
And her brother was a pastor, a Southern Baptist pastor for the majority of his adult life, and has since left the church and essentially renounced his faith and embraced his relationship with his identical twin brother, who is, again, a drag queen. So they are just unpacking a lot of stuff and comparing notes about their childhood and the directions that they've taken. And Darby has she's an amazing, dry, quick sense of humor. She does the podcast out of drag with her brother, so you really see these 2 identical people talking to each other. And it's amazing, but it really is healing something in me. It is really something to watch them talk through things and like give each other genuine apologies for things, talk about their parents. It's wonderful. So Twinuendo, or IMHO, the show. These are two things. If you just look up Darby Lynn Cartwright, Twinuendo, you will find it. Watch it and get healed. It's very sweet, and I love that show. So that's my media. So pretty good. I got it in 3 minutes. I'm done.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
you did great. And when you told me about that Twinuendo show before, that does sound like I feel like there are way too many people talking about a lot of things that are very uninteresting to most people. And that is a shame. But that is the reason why the internet exists, to give that exact dynamic platform, because I know personally, and I'm sure everyone here knows personally, a lot of people who have a lot of trauma around the church and growing up and have made a lot of life choices based on things that they didn't think too much about. And so watching people be able to like process and think, and that's always interesting, especially when it's not in like a cult dynamic, because I feel like it goes culty really fast, and that's what they make documentaries about, is but there are a lot of similar dynamics between a lot of different churches and culty behavior.
Right. It's all kind of a question of degrees at the end of the day, which is a lot of what Drew's brother, whose name is escaping me right now, says. But it really is, and it's not, I don't think it's false hope at all, but I think it's important to like see the result of Darby setting boundaries in her life too, of her being like, she was just like, I can't. She's like, there'd be times where my brother was in my life, and then there are times where he weren't, because it was just, I couldn't be tolerated anymore. Like, it was just so, I was suppressing so much of myself to go visit these people, and like the love was so conditional. And to have his brother acknowledge that and being like, you're absolutely right, that's what I was doing, and it was hypocritical and terrible, and you're just like, so many people don't get that. Like, that never happened.
No.
And it's just like, so there's just the tiny morsel of hope that I just find so nice to watch it play out. So it's lovely. It is. And also, I mean, super dumb and silly. They have great senses of humor, but it's really healing something in me, and I'm just grateful that they're doing it. So I hope that show lasts for a really long time.
Oh, love it. Well, that's a hell of a lot more interesting than what I have been watching lately, Laura. I'm just in sports mode. It's
Sport
just
mode.
A lot of sports. I'm just like, it's you so sporty from sun up to sundown around here.
Well, I mean, I think you teased this to us. I think it was in the live. Otherwise, it was in a knit night. But you said that September is your favorite month, period. And so much of that has to do with the sports of it all. We've got, I mean, football starts up again. Mm-hmm. And it's like baseball exciting into October.
Very exciting. Yes.
You are booked and blessed.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it's super fun. And it's been noted, I'm a huge Detroit Tigers fan. The Detroit Tigers, they have like a 4% chance of making it into the playoffs. And that is a bigger percentage than they have had in like 9 years. And I was talking to Shane about this last night, how I think about that cliche, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, in the terms of sports. Because that's where it makes the most sense to me. It is so much better to have your heart ripped out of your chest and shoved down your throat by an opposing team than to just be like the White Sox and just like lose, and you're just like, look, you just lost, like you just lose. So I am in like I am scoreboard watching. There are like 4 teams every day that I have to see if they lose. So I haven't felt like this for so long, and it's like a fresh bloom of love, Laura. And that is, good. I wake up every morning and I say, oh my God, who's playing? What's happening? what? How we're we're 3.5 games back. Okay, and then so that's what I'm doing, and it's the best.
Well, you put enough hours in that you should be rewarded with this type of feeling in your favorite month. So I was gonna say, I was like, oh, something's going on with the Orioles, but Allyson knows, and that makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's fair. I mean, and it's a shame that we are out of time, because the other thing I got really into was diving back into Ancestry.com. Brooke found a high school yearbook photo of my grandpa that I've never seen. I've never seen my grandfather before. And Brooke found his high school yearbook photo. And so it was like a major deep dive, and god damn, is it boring. Ask anybody that came to First Friday, because that's all I had done was watch baseball and done my ancestry. And I was like, you guys are in so much trouble, because it's all I have to talk about. So I really stretched today to try to have anything remotely interesting to talk about. But if you want to extend, I can tell you about how my biological great-grandfather...
And that's really all the time we have for today.
Horse
How
hospital in Decatur? No? You don't want to hear about his horse hospital? Okay. Well, I thought it was great.
But that's just where we're going to pick up next week, Laura, where no one will remember this at
Cliffhanger.
all.
Everyone's going to be like, say more about William Asa and his horse hospital. And I'm going to leave it at that.
It was really only for horses?
Yes. His largest in the state, Allyson, in Decatur, Illinois. Using a technique he developed himself. That doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound great.
There wasn't a lot of oversight.
No, which they say. They're like, yeah, he's from the old school where you didn't need these fancy certifications and training. And I'm like, oh no.
That's my favorite part of, this is another really, really dumb, boring sentence. But that's my favorite thing about learning about the doctors in the Civil War, which is a passion of mine. How to be a doctor, you just had to say, I'm a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you were just a doctor.
Yeah. They were like, he was a farmer forever, which I see more. The doctor stuff, they were like, I am generally interested in science. I had a Bunsen burner as a child. Get me in there. And you're like, whoa.
Okay. No problem. That was not that long ago.
No, it was not. Shocking. Shocking stuff.
Shocking.
Anyway, I'm gonna go wash my hands. I think that's where we should all just go wash our hands.
Germ theory.
We know it now.
Very important. It was
Good
not
stuff.
discovered that long ago. We have come a long ways.
No kidding.
Yes, we have. Speaking of,
hey, good for you.
there's COVID and flu in here, Laura. I'm basically invincible.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thumbs up
Do
on
it.
Vaxxes.
Do
Fair.
it.
We save that hot take for the very
not
end.
even sore. Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody, we're gonna stop boring you with our weird interests. Okay. We'll be back next week with more Sleevetember updates. Hopefully, I'm gonna be wearing that framed. I'm saying a lot of things right now, but I have a lot of sports to watch. So that's happening. So knit, maybe calling sick to work tomorrow.
Do it.
Put your feet up, knit for like 12 hours. You can do this. All right.
Glad you're home, and I can't wait to catch up next week.
All right. See everybody soon. Bye.